Hey, what's up everybody? This is Nightwing2303 from kicksoncourt.com. Today we have another performance review, and it is on the Nike Air Max Hyperaggressor. So we have seen this sneaker previously in a different video, as well as a couple of performance teasers on my site, as well as the first impression. So if you are not frequently following my site, kicksoncourt.com, you might want to do that because you're missing out on lots of information prior to this video. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into it. Real briefly, in case you're wondering why I'm doing this inside instead of outside, it's because it's raining in the bay, so, you know, oh well, maybe next time, and yeah, let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so here is the traction pattern. It is full-length herringbone. It's different widths apart, and a little bit different, like grooves, things like that. It's a little bit spaced apart, more spaced apart in the heel. And then in the forefoot it's pretty compact, and then you have certain areas like here at the pivot point where they are flat and smooth, which does help with your pivoting movements. So it's not something that I think is like necessary personally. If you can't pivot correctly and quickly, then you probably shouldn't be playing basketball. You don't need something like this to help you. But anyways, as far as the traction actually working, it does. This is probably the highlight of the shoe right here. The best feature on the Hyperaggressor is its traction. I think that it's phenomenal. This is pretty close to perfect. Actually, I probably would rate these as a perfect 10 out of 10. You know, for a big man, you don't really need this much traction, but at the same time, you know, everybody's versatile nowadays as far as their positions, their style of play, and things like that. You have guards that can play big, and you have big guys that can play like guards. So something like this, it's pretty versatile, is actually nice to have on a sneaker. As a guard, personally, I think that this traction setup is awesome. Doesn't really get much better than this, other than maybe like the CP 3.6, Kobe 4, and shoes like that. So that is the traction portion. Let's move on to cushion. So the Hyperaggressor is an Air Max model with the Hyperfuse line. So instead of having the forefoot cushion, which would be a zoom unit, like the previous models, like the Hyperfuse and I don't know, the Hyper. What else is there? There's tons of them. It doesn't even matter. I can't even remember all their damn names. But this is basically meant for a big man. So you have the Air Max in the heel, and then nothing in the forefoot. The rest of the cushion comes from the Phylon midsole. And honestly, this is probably like the worst feature that I've experienced, worst cushion feature that I've experienced on a Nike shoe. I know there's probably been worse, but as of recently, with how good that they've been having their models from all across the board, from their lower end up to their higher ends, they've all been very comfortable and very well cushioned, except for this guy right here. The foam just doesn't break in very well. The Air Max bag in the heel is very dense. It's pretty much canceled out by the dense Phylon that's sitting on top of it. So everything feels real slappy, especially from a heel to toe transition. The heel to toe transition is pretty awful. You know, it's again for a big man, but you'd still want to be able to feel comfortable and cushion and things like that. And I don't actually see how this can be comfortable for a big man in general. This is the insole that they come with. It's a very thin, flimsy insole. The most that they could have done is at least put an ortholite in there for some stepping comfort, which they did not do. This thing is just not working, and it is awful. These guys run at about $100, so in that sense you could say like, hey, they're a cheaper model, that's why there's less cushion. However, you know, for an extra $10, $15, $20 even, just put some Zoom Air in the forefoot. You don't even need to do that. You could just put some nicer damn foam in there, and it would be so much better. Because otherwise, you're going to be spending an extra $20 minimum on additional insoles, just so that you can get some sort of additional cushion in the shoe. Which, you know, honestly, it's a rip-off. You shouldn't have to go and modify your sneakers unless you use orthotics because you have like an arch issue or a heel issue, something like that. So for $100, I do expect more from Nike. If anything, I'd expect this to be priced at their very low ends, at $79 or less. As far as the materials go, basically you have a full-on Hyperfuse upper, and that's pretty self-explanatory. It's durable, it's fairly flexible. This is a very nice type of Hyperfuse. This is a little bit thinner than the Nike LeBron 10. but it is a very similar type of fuse where it's very nice and flexible. It doesn't feel like leather like the other fuse that was on the LeBron 10, but it's just as flexible and just as forgiving, so break-in time is very, very minimal, which is something that I do actually like. As far as their fit goes, they do fit true to size. I do like their fit overall. There is not too much room and they're not too snug, so when everything's laced up properly, you're pretty much good to go. You have plenty of support throughout the heel area and the collar with the fit. Once everything is laced up tightly, you have perfect lockdown, drawing your heel into the heel bed right here, and there's no slippage whatsoever. So the midfoot is fairly contained. The forefoot, it's a little bit iffy, but you know, overall everything else is perfect, so I wouldn't really complain. And I did actually really enjoy the overall fit and minimal break-in time of the Hyperaggressor. Ventilation, this is another thing where you could pretty much, you know, you expect ventilation with a Hyperfuse model, and this is pretty much what you get. So you have a very thin tongue, and that is made out of a single layer of mesh. That is very breathable, which is nice. Then you have plenty of open areas along the forefoot, and then the medial and lateral side panels, which are very breathable as well. You do have additional ventilation up in the collar area. It is lined by cushion or foam, but it still allows heat to escape. However, the foam will retain a little bit of that moisture. I didn't really have too many problems with this, so I thought that ventilation overall was very good. Overall support, very nice. Again, like I was saying in the fit section, the fit is pretty much perfect from the midfoot back. The forefoot could use a little bit of work. When you tie them up tightly and everything like that, you got a little bit of that bubble there. I don't like that too much, but again, there's very, very little break-in time, so I can't really complain. Other than that, the support is pretty much on point. No carbon fiber, no TPU or shank plate in place, but there is one internally, which is something that you cannot see, but it is in there, so you don't have to worry about your arch or any arch support. So that pretty much takes care of that. And overall, I would say that the Hyperaggressor is a decent Nike model. It's not anything too spectacular. I do think that they are priced too high. So if you are looking for something like this, just be patient and wait it out, because these guys here are definitely going to be due for the clearance racks. You'll probably be able to find these over at Ross and TJ Maxx and places like that, eventually Marshalls. So it's okay. It's not anything to be you know, too impressed by. Just watch out for that cushion. If you like cushion, you know, either look for something else or put in an insole in here to help you out. Otherwise, this is going to be one of the most unforgiving cushion bases or platforms that I've probably ever experienced. I played in plenty of sneakers and these suck as far as the cushion goes. So everything else is pretty damn good, though, I'll give it that. So traction is fantastic, fit, support, and ventilation, all of those are above average. So the only thing that these are lacking is cushion, and that's where I'm a little bit disappointed, just because Nike knows better. Nike has great foam options, they have great air options, so for them to put out something like this for $100, it's just kind of like, you know, you don't really have any excuses for that. So that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. If you want more information or any scores on their performance, please visit my site, kicksoncourt.com. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and until next time, guys, have a good one.